All right, what's up, my brothers from another mother? We got a requested topic today from a guy who's sub 30 and has been chasing excellence for the last 10 years, done very well for himself, he claims, but it's not paying any dividends in his life in the real world, and especially with women. So let's find out what's going on with this gentleman's life. He says, hey, Rich, thanks for the work. Too many guys without male role models, mindlessly droning through life. I like to call it sleepwalking through life, but yeah. So writing this on behalf of myself and a friend who's in the exact same scenario, just halfway across the globe in Central EU, Latin America. We're fairly sure there's more people in a situation. All sorts of online-only entrepreneurs, and a video is warranted. So background, he says, chase excellence for a decade plus with great success. Got the millions, are physically fit, and are on the top of our respective professions' businesses. Both managed to do this basically from a home office with extremely limited social interactions. Not the intention, just the nature of the beast. Our work also required some extreme overtime for long periods of time. That is the cost of entrepreneurship, brother. Both under 30. We both managed to dodge terrible relationships and have a red pill outlook. There's no MGTOW, no misogyny going on here. We understand how women are and don't hate them for it. Good. No social media presidents, no Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Don't need a job, LOL. All right, let's see what the problem is. The excellence seems to have very little to no effect on the sexual marketplace. Women in the 20 to 30 age bracket, the level of entitlement is so high, none of the above seems to matter. Even if it does early, it seems to just be a footnote very quickly. Well, there's two reasons why you may not be doing well with women if you are, in fact, a man of excellence and physically fit, as you state. First of all, I always ask you guys when you fill these out to give me some frame as to who I'm talking to. You said you don't have a social media presence. That under the age of 30 can be problematic. I'll explain why in a minute, but I have no idea what you look like. I don't know if you're physically fit. I don't know if you're attractive. You know, it's very difficult for you to say, well, I'm good looking and I'm physically fit, but there's no reference to it. So, assuming that you are, and that you're a masculine man with some good style, and you're good looking, and you have, you're not carrying body fat, obviously, and you've taken care of yourself, the thing that's going to be holding you back is going to be game. There's lots of very, very successful entrepreneurs out there, a lot of great, successful men that make incredibly bad choices with women and get incredibly bad results with women in general. Elon Musk is a great example, one of the most successful, richest men in the world. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, made some incredibly bad choices in his life with women, left his marriage and signed up for some, let's call her a carousel rider, which posed some new problems in his life, obviously. So chasing excellence is one thing. You can be the top tier man on the planet Earth, but still have incredibly bad results with women just because you don't understand game and how to use that on a long-term basis. So yes, you might understand red pill. You might have red pill awareness. You've watched the content. You've followed me for a while. Maybe you're part of the Rule Zero gang, watching those as it moves around and all my other peers. But if you're not good at actually executing it in real life and learning how it works, using it, knowing it is one thing, but doing well with it is a totally different thing. Online game, for example, is probably where you get the best ROI under the age of 30, because that seems to be where you're going to contact most of the women. But if you don't know how to do it, if you don't have good photography, if you don't have good social proof, one of the things that you're missing right now will be social proof. So if you don't have a Instagram, Facebook, and I'm not a big fan of it, but if you're younger, if you're under 30, these things kind of matter to chicks, right? So you have to be able to not only say, yes, I am successful and I can demonstrate social proof, but they want to see proof of it on your Instagram page, for example, would be a great way for me to distill that part for you. So let's keep reading through this to see what else we got here. Footnote very quickly, and real life social networks suffer greatly because we focused on making sure we are financially independent early in life. Having this kind of ambition is not really normal or relatable to most people. Smart people seem like crazy people to dumb people is really what it boils down to. They don't understand what it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur. And there's a lot of guys that are successful entrepreneurs that are younger, under the age of 30. Again, I'll say this again. They're very successful. They may have chased excellence. They might have acquired millions. But if they're socially awkward and they're not able to engage in women in a way that gets them positive results and responses, it doesn't matter if you're good looking. It doesn't matter if you've got millions of dollars. If you're awkward as AF, you're going to have a hard time. That's likely what you're missing. But again, I don't know what I'm looking at here because you didn't link me anything for social to take a dive into. As far as a social network, you should find ways to network with other guys, especially if you've started to follow this content and you want to learn more about doing well as a guy out there. You should be in my men's community. In fact, I appreciate the request, and this gives some guys some frame to understand the difficulty. It's not just about chasing excellence. Yes, you can be a man of excellence and still not get great results on a sexual marketplace. I don't have full frame on why. Assuming that you're a handsome man, we're just going to have to go back to you don't know how to act on this professionally face to face. Your better ROI would have been joining my men's community. It would have cost you less, and you would have had access to me, private learning events, private Q&A events, workshops. Being able to ask questions like asks and gives in the community. You're obviously not a member, so do I have the tab up over here? It's up over here. I'll put the card up on the top right of the screen. Watch this video over here, and it'll bring you in. It'll give you some idea as to what you get for the membership. You may want to consider a business membership if you're looking to level up in your business a little bit, but that's something that you should definitely consider if you're looking to network socially. It's probably one of the best places. So we're in a situation where all the variables are technically there, but finding women seems harder than ever. What we learned is that money itself is not really a driving force for female attraction. It's more about what usually comes bundled with that, status, power, etc. If you're not able to demonstrate status, the money doesn't mean anything. Okay, I know this one guy. He's probably worth about $9 or $10 million minimum. And you wouldn't know it. He drives a piece of crap car. He's not a car guy. He doesn't dress well. He's got a sloppy haircut. He just doesn't do well with women on the sexual marketplace, even though he's loaded. So, and he's not fat. He's a reasonably fit guy. Like he stays lean. He's not muscular by any stretch of the imagination, nor does he look like he's lethal by any stretch of the imagination. But he's loaded. So yeah, you can run into that problem. So yes, you're absolutely correct. Status does matter. I mean, if you've got money, you've got to be able to signal status. That's important. That's why it's part of the looks, money, status equation in the LMS, strategy that we sometimes hear us talk about. All things we don't really have, despite being fairly wealthy and successful, and we have work for it. So what do you suggest we do? A lot of possible options that come to mind are a bit tricky in this COVID era. How do we progress? Well, I'll tell you what, like if you're following my content, the first thing that you should do is get in my community, because that's where all the best conversations happen. This is like a Monday evening in my community, honestly. And we have talks about this in depth in an open forum where we're not worried about offending anybody's feelings. It's all guys. And it's also giving you an opportunity to network with other guys around the world. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You will find somebody in the community on your continent, likely even in your city if you're in a large metropolitan area or close to one. So that would be the first thing. If you're an entrepreneur and you're a stay-at-home online guy that's running your business, it sounds like a company of one, the way that you've described it. There's other things that you can do to network with other guys outside of women, which will allow you to build status and make sure you get out into the world, sort of thing. A lot of guys that run their businesses, they kind of lock themselves in their house and they never see the real world. They never interact with real people. They don't have any real world hobby, sort of thing. I recommend maybe checking out something like Entrepreneurs Organization. If you're the founder of the business and you're doing over $1 million a year in annual sales receipts, you can sign up for EO. Just Google Entrepreneurs Organization and try to find the local chapter, whatever the closest city is to you. That's certainly something worth looking at because you can network with guys over there. They create forums. I have my own tier on my business tier. So where I was showing you guys my communities over here, I've got an Entrepreneurs Brotherhood. It's currently full, but you can get on the wait list. And if you get on that email list, I'll let you know when I've got an opening. But we basically have an online Red Pill Brotherhood sort of thing. So it's very similar to EO. I run it with my own twist, but there's none of this. Like there's never going to be an update in my community where some guy's like, well, happy wife and happy life, and she's still not paying any attention to me, Rich, and I don't know what to do. Just like we get into deeper conversations in that. So there's a few things that you can do there. Again, dude, if you've chased excellence and you've made the bank, I don't know what you look like. See, this is what women want. Women want a civil guy that can be lethal. Okay. They want a handsome, masculine guy that portrays all the strong masculine virtues. One of the best things I always tell guys to do, if you're not involved in it and you didn't mention it here in your request, is join a dojo and get into some kind of combat sports, whatever you like. You know, find one that has multi-disciplines. They might offer boxing, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga. My personal favorite was Krav when I kind of tested out a few different things, because really, I don't really want to get into fighting and like combat scenarios where I'm the attacker. It's more of, okay, you want to come at me, fine, I'll destroy you and I'll get away just fine, sort of thing. And that's why I like that discipline. It's very, very effective, and you can certainly do a lot of damage, and knowing that skill is useful not only to you, but it's useful to you in the world. You meet some great people there. It's a good social network. It's a good way to network with other people. There's no losers in a dojo that I've ever met. If they do show up and they don't try to level themselves up, they always quit. They always disappear. So they end up kind of weeding themselves out. So it's really just being intentional with your time and putting yourselves in rooms and environments where you have an opportunity to grow, to network with other like-minded guys. That's what brotherhoods really are. You know, that's what tribes are. Men are tribal creatures. We need to form our own communities and tribes, and we draw a perimeter around that. And we define who's on the inside and who's on the outside. I've talked about Jack Donovan before. I've got a few of his books over here. You might want to start with The Way of Men. He's got a few other books that are certainly worth looking at. Pinned in the top comment in all my videos, there's an Amazon link to the bookstore with some products, but also specifically the books that I recommend that you read. So there's some additional resources there for you as well. I don't really have anything else to add beyond what we covered over here. I should mention, if you guys are interested in making a request, like a requested video like this, you just go to entrepreneursandcars.com/request, or top right, click that pop-out banner, and you make your request, and we can record this over here. But more specifically to this guy, it's difficult to fully assess it, and you would have probably got a far better bang for your buck joining my community and getting involved with those guys in that area and being held accountable to some of the stories that you tell, because a lot of the time, some of the stories I think guys tell me here, it's just surface area. And while I recognize that you don't have a social media presence, it's going to limit you in your ability to interact with other people, especially if you're looking for a community and if you're looking for useful feedback. Aside from that, I do some collabs with other content creators on my channel from time to time. So if you're following me and you see me make an announcement for like a product, for example, like for online dating, like I've worked with a few of the other guys out there. If I endorse something, it's because it's good, because I've seen it and it'll help you get far better results. I've provided a lot of tips on my channel already. So top right, if you haven't dove into the Red Pill playlist, I should put my finger that way. If you haven't dove into that, make sure you watch those videos there, because I mean, pretty much everything you need to know is there. But if you want something more structured and organized, just pay attention to the stuff that I put out. And if I announce that I'm doing a collab with somebody that's got a program or a launch coming out, check that out. Also, you should get on my email list if you haven't. It's just also pinned in the top comment. It's entrepreneursandcars.com/red-flag. And I'll also notify you if there's some opportunity for one of those learning events. So with that being said, guys, do you have any additional comments for this request? Experiences, leave them below, specifically from experience. Don't make up stuff in your head. Smash the like button. The algorithms love it when you guys do that. Appreciate the request. Hope you guys have an amazing day. See you in the next video. Peace.